What if the biggest storm in your life is not the punishment from God, but it's the second chance? Most people think that the story of Jonah and the great fish is all about disobedience, but the real story is about something much deeper. Running from the task that God gave you, and by the end of this video, you might realize something unbelievable. The storm you're facing right now might actually be guiding you back to your purpose. Let's be honest for a moment. There are times when we know exactly what we should do, yet we avoid it. You know that conversation you've been putting off. That one decision you know is right, but feels uncomfortable. That calling in your life that feels too big, too scary, or too inconvenient. Instead of stepping into it, we delay. We distract ourselves. We run. That's exactly what happened to Jonah. God gave him a clear mission to go to the city of Nineveh and warn the people to turn from their wicked ways. But Jonah didn't want to go. Nineveh was the enemy of his people. So Jonah made a decision many of us would make. He ran in the opposite direction. Instead of going to Nineveh, Jonah boarded a ship heading to Tarshish. In other words, Jonah tried to outrun God's assignment. But here's the truth. Most people don't understand. You can run from the mission, but you can't run from the calling. The Bible tells us in the book of Jonah that once Jonah boarded the ship, a violent storm suddenly appeared. Not a normal storm. A storm so powerful that even experienced sailors were scared. They threw cargo into the sea. They prayed to their gods. Meanwhile, Jonah was below deck, sleeping. Think about that for a moment. The storm outside the ship was the result of what was inside Jonah's heart. Eventually, the sailors cast lots to discover who caused the disaster, and it pointed directly to Jonah. When confronted, Jonah admitted something remarkable. He said, "Throw me into the sea, and the storm will stop." The sailors hesitated, but the storm only grew stronger. Finally, they threw Jonah overboard, and instantly, the sea became calm. But that's when the story takes the turn everyone remembers. God sent a great fish to swallow Jonah. For 3 days and 3 nights, Jonah was inside the belly of that fish. Most people think this part of the story is about punishment, but look closer. The fish didn't destroy Jonah. It saved him. The storm could have drowned him. The ocean could have ended his life, but instead, God created a temporary prison that became a place of transformation. Inside that darkness, inside that isolation, Jonah finally did what he refused to do before. He prayed. And in that moment, something powerful happened. Jonah stopped running. He surrendered. Sometimes, God allows us to enter seasons that feel like the belly of a fish. Moments where everything stops. Moments where we feel stuck. Moments where life becomes quiet and uncomfortable. But those seasons are often where clarity is born. And after 3 days, the fish spit Jonah onto the dry land, right back on the path toward Nineveh. The mission hadn't changed, but Jonah had. Here's the question. This story asks every one of us, what are you running from right now? Maybe it's forgiving someone. Maybe it's starting something God placed in your heart. Maybe it's stepping into a responsibility that scares you. Running might feel easier in the moment, but eventually the storm catches up. So here's one simple thing you can do today. Take 5 quiet minutes. Ask yourself honestly, God, is there something in my life I've been avoiding that you've been calling me toward? And then listen, because sometimes the breakthrough you're praying for is on the other side of the obedience you're avoiding. If this message spoke to you today, type "I will stop running" in the comments, not for me, but as a reminder to yourself, and share this video to someone who feels like they're in the middle of a storm right now, because the storm they're facing might actually be the moment that brings them back to their purpose.